Over a 16-month period, my house flooded twice. I came home to find 3.5 feet of water covering 98% of my material belongings, and what it left behind was several inches of river mud. If you've never witnessed something like that in person, you have no idea what that really looks like, smells like. It's just unbelievable, the devastation that can come when water comes through your house. I had a bedroom dressing bench at the foot of my bed, and in the haste to leave, I had grabbed my If journals and I was gonna stick them in a bag and take them with me. I also had some cardboard letters, the I, N, and the F. My husband said, we've got to get out of here, and so I went off and I left those journals on the bench. When I came home, the bench had floated to the other side of the room, and the journals were dry. There wasn't a drop of water or a speck of mud on the journals. And the If letters that had been in my suitcase had floated out of the suitcase across the room as well and landed on the muddy carpet. But the way they landed was in the perfect formation they were right side by side, IF. I felt like that by God saving those items, the journals, I felt like he was just saying, this is something you're doing that's of importance. This has eternal value. This is something that I want you to continue in. The night before we came to gut our house during the second flood, I knew that God had allowed us to flood twice for a reason. So I was like, Lord, what is it? All night long, I was just listening and journaling, and I wrote down in my journal the words of him speaking to my heart, will you leave it all in its watery grave and pursue only me? I'm like, okay, Lord, what did you mean by all? Because we had spent 11 months rebuilding our house, and it consumed our lives. And I had bought really nice things to put in my house. That very day, I had prayed to the Lord and I said, what about that chandelier? And what about the beautiful copper kitchen sink? Did you really mean all? That Sunday, I was standing at the back talking to a friend of mine, and I was telling her about this, and she was like, well, he didn't mean your kitchen sink and your chandelier, and surely not. And as soon as she said it, there was just this question in my spirit, and he said, if I would not withhold my only son from you, would you withhold a kitchen sink and a chandelier from me? And immediately I knew the answer, no. I feel like God is setting me free from a life that wasn't really life. It was holding me back from living abundant life. He's putting me in a place where I have more freedom to be in discipleship, to be in relationship with other women, to get together for coffee and just talk about what God is doing in our lives. And I'm also pursuing God in encouraging the next generation. I have a passion for writing, and I'm teaching junior high kids composition. So just praying over them. I specifically am praying that some of them will, have a heart for writing and use that for His glory. He's opened up lots of doors. All you have to do is be willing, and He provides those opportunities. I know that this whole process, God has used every bit of it. Every struggle that I have had has brought growth. Through the hardest times, I have found the deepest intimacy with Christ that I've ever experienced in my life. If I had to do it all over again, I would choose to go through it. I recognize that what I have lost doesn't compare to what I have gained in knowing Christ.